The ball slammed into my chest like a betrayal I never saw coming, knocking the wind out of me mid-stride on that rain-slicked court. "Faggot can't even catch a pass," the kid sneered, his voice slicing through the downpour, while his posse of rich boy teammates howled like it was the punchline of the century. In that frozen second, as blood trickled from my split lip and the storm raged on, I realized this wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was about surviving the monster I'd let into my heart. I wiped the mud from my face and stared him down, my senior year captain's jersey clinging to my skin like a second layer of shame. Ethan Hargrove, the golden child of Elmwood University, heir to some tech fortune from Silicon Valley transplants who'd bought their way into the Midwest elite. He'd transferred in last fall, all sharp jawline and sharper tongue, turning heads and breaking protocols with his daddy's donations greasing the wheels. I was Jax Harlan, the walk-on vet from the wrong side of the tracks in rural Ohio, grinding through 4 seasons on scholarships and sheer grit. We'd clashed from day one in Coach Riley's drills, me calling out his lazy footwork, him firing back with barbs that always seemed to land on my soft spots. But that night, under the floodlights of the auxiliary gym, it escalated. Practice had run long, the team thinning out until it was just us, the rain hammering the roof like Judgment Day. "You think you're untouchable, Hargrove?" I growled, retrieving the ball and launching a three-pointer that swished clean despite the ache in my ribs. It wasn't about the shot. It was about not crumbling. Ethan sauntered over, his designer sneakers squeaking on the wet floor, that smirk playing on lips that had whispered secrets to me just weeks before in the shadows of the locker room. Secrets I'd been fool enough to believe meant something more than a thrill for a bored prince. Untouchable? Nah, Harlan. Just better. You're yesterday's news, clinging to glory like it's your last meal. His eyes flicked to the rainbow pin on my backpack, half hidden in the corner. A quiet nod to the Campus Pride Center where I'd volunteered since freshman year. The team knew I was gay. Hell, half the athletic department did after that viral clip from last spring's tournament, where I'd hugged my best friend a beat too long after a win. Most guys ribbed me lightly, called it Jax's sparkle, and moved on. But Ethan? He weaponized it, turning whispers into weapons. That was the hook that snagged me deepest, though. It started innocently enough, or so I told myself. 2 months back, after a brutal loss to state, the team hit O'Malley's, the dive bar off campus where pitchers ran cheap and regrets flowed freer. I nursed a beer in the corner booth, replaying every missed layup in my head, when Ethan slid in across from me, uninvited. "You carried us out there, man. Don't beat yourself up." His voice was low, genuine for once, those green eyes locking on mine without the usual mockery. We really talked for hours, about the pressure of legacies. Mine built on proving I belonged despite the trailer park start. His on never measuring up to a father who viewed emotions as liabilities. By closing time, as the neon open sign flickered out, he'd clapped my shoulder, and something electric lingered in the air. From there, it snowballed. Late-night texts about plays, then playlists, his indie rock mixes bleeding into my country anthems. Study sessions in the library turned into confessions over vending machine coffee. His coming-out story at a posh boarding school in Connecticut, the fallout with his conservative mom who'd shipped him west to toughen up. Mine quieter. A small-town realization at 16, followed by years of silence until college cracked me open. We were both guarded, both hungry for someone who saw past the jerseys. One evening, after a pickup game at the rec center, he lingered as the others filed out. "Jax," he said, voice barely above the hum of the AC. "You're not like the others. You fight for it. Makes me jealous, I guess." His hand brushed mine, tentative, and I didn't pull away. That touch ignited a spark I'd buried under layers of discipline and doubt. A romance blooming in stolen glances and coded emojis, all while the world outside spun on, oblivious. But cracks formed fast. Ethan's crowd, the frat bros with trust funds and Teslas, started side-eyeing our bromance. Whispers in the weight room. "Harlan's got a new puppy." I brushed it off, focused on the season's grind. We were 8-2, chasing an NCAA bid for the first time since my freshman year. Coach had me mentoring the transfers, including Ethan, and our chemistry on the court was fire, my steady picks setting up his flashy drives. Off it, we'd sneak to the bluffs overlooking the Mississippi, sharing smokes and stories under star-pricked skies. "You're the real deal, Jax," he'd murmur, head on my shoulder. The river's murmur our only witness. Those nights felt like grace, a fragile humanity in a game that chewed up souls. Yet doubt gnawed at me. Ethan's jabs during scrimmages grew sharper, laced with that old venom when eyes were on him. "Pass it, princess," he'd quip after I hesitated on a screen, loud enough for the bench to chuckle. I'd laugh it off, but each one landed like a bruise. Was it performance, fear, or just who he was when the mask slipped? I confronted him once, post-shower in the empty locker room, steam curling like unspoken accusations. "What's your deal, Ethan? 1 minute we're this, the next you're gutting me in front of the team." He leaned against the lockers, towel low on his hips, vulnerability flickering before the walls slammed up. "It's nothing, Jax. Just blowing off steam. You know how it is. Gotta keep the wolves at bay." He pulled me close then, kiss fierce and apologetic, and I let it erase the questions. Fool. The storm hit harder than that rainy practice. It was mid-November, homecoming week, the campus electric with tailgates and bonfires. Our game against rival Central was a bloodbath. Fouls flying, elbows sharp. I took a charge on Ethan's teammate, crumpling to the floor with a knee that buckled wrong. The crowd roared as refs called the block, but pain blinded me, white-hot and unrelenting. Medics hauled me off, diagnosis. Torn ACL, season over. Just like that, my senior swan song snuffed out. Teammates visited my dorm that night, slinging awkward pep talks and pizza, but Ethan was MIA. His text came at 2 a.m. "Heard about the knee. Sucks. Heal up, vet." I stewed in silence, crutches my new crutches. The Pride Center my refuge where I sorted donations instead of sinking threes. That's when the betrayal bloomed ugly. A leaked Snapchat. Ethan, beer in hand at a frat rager, voice slurred. "Harlan's out for the count. Good riddance. Guy's been riding my ass since day one." And yeah, that ass is as dramatic as his love life. Laughter erupted, phones flashing. By morning, it was campus fodder, twisted into, "Jax the drama queen got what he deserved." My phone blew up, notifications from group chats I'd muted, voicemails from coach demanding explanations. But the gut punch? Ethan's face, caught mid-laugh, green eyes cold as the Ohio winter's I'd fled. I confronted him at dawn, hobbling to the athletic lot where his sleek SUV idled. Rain slicked everything again, poetic cruelty. "You son of a bitch," I spat, pounding the hood. He rolled down the window, hungover and hollow. "It was a joke, Jax. Lighten up." But his voice cracked, and I saw it, the fear, the fracture. "A joke? You outed our, whatever this was, for laughs. After everything." He killed the engine, stepping out into the deluge, water matting his hair. I panicked. "Okay?" The guys were pressing, asking why I bailed on the party. I had to. Deflect. Deflect. The word hung between us, heavier than any dunk. We argued for an hour, voices rising over the patter, accusations flying like errant passes. He swore it meant nothing, that the love life bit was vague enough to slide. I called bullshit. It was a knife to the throat of every quiet moment we'd shared. "You used me, Ethan, to look tough, to fit in." Tears mixed with rain on his cheeks, and for a heartbeat, I saw the boy from the bluffs, raw and reaching. "I didn't mean to hurt you. God, Jax, you're the only real thing I've got." He grabbed my hand, desperate, but I yanked back, the crutches wobbling. "Real? This isn't real. It's your game, and I'm done playing." I turned away, the lot blurring, but his voice chased me. "Wait, please. I love you." The words detonated, soft as thunder. Love. In all our tangled nights, we danced around it, too scared to name the pull. I froze, heart hammering. "You don't get to say that now. Not like this." He sank to his knees in the puddle, unmindful of the mud, whispering please I couldn't unhear. Part of me, the part that remembered his laugh in the library, his thumb tracing my scars, wanted to haul him up, forgive in the downpour like some rom-com climax. But the vet in me, battle-scarred from years of proving worth, knew better. Respect wasn't begged. It was earned. Days blurred into a haze of PT sessions and pitying stares. The team splintered. Some ghosted me. Others sent awkward Snapchats. "We got your back, man." Coach pulled me aside during film review, his grizzled face etched with concern. "Heard the noise, Harlan. Hargrove's a hothead, but you're our rock. Don't let it sink you." I nodded, but inside, the wound festered. Ethan tried reaching out. Flowers at the dorm, cheesy lilies that made me snort, voicemails thick with regret. I deleted them all, channeling fury into rehab, pushing my knee until the trainer threatened bench time. Then came the low point, the valley before any climb. Thanksgiving break loomed, and I had nowhere to go. Family back home fractured after Dad's mill layoff, Mom working doubles. The Pride Center threw a potluck for stragglers, and I dragged myself there, crutch-bound and hollow. That's when Marcus showed up, my old running buddy from freshman year, the one whose hug had sparked the viral firestorm. Tall, dreadlocked, and unapologetically queer, he enveloped me in a bear hug that smelled of sage and solidarity. "Heard about your boy. Want me to key his Beamer?" We laughed, real and ragged, over turkey tetrazzini and stories of exes who'd ghosted harder than Ethan's apologies. Marcus stayed the night, crashing on my futon, and we talked till dawn. About betrayal's bite, about loving fierce in a world that flinched. "You deserve someone who shouts it from the rafters, Jax," he said, eyes soft. No spark there, just the warmth of chosen family, but it cracked my armor. By morning, resolve hardened. I wouldn't chase Ethan's redemption. I'd forge my own. The team reconvened post-break, practices ramping for conference play. Ethan cornered me in the tunnel pre-drill, eyes bloodshot. "Talk to me, please." I sized him up. The spoiled teen who'd mocked my every step, now stripped to bones and begging. "Why should I?" He swallowed hard. "Because I was wrong. About everything. The snaps, the jabs, it was me running scared. Dad called after the leak. Threatened to cut me off if I embarrassed the family again. But losing you? That's the real cut." Vulnerability poured out, a flood I hadn't braced for. He spoke of nights staring at my number, replaying our bluffs talks, realizing the respect I'd shown him. From day one, believing in his game when coaches scoffed was the mirror he needed. I wanted to hate him, but humanity's a stubborn bastard. "You hurt people to protect yourself, Ethan. That's not love. That's cowardice." He nodded, tears brimming. "Teach me different, then, like you do on the court." The plea hung, echoing our first real connection. Against every instinct, I relented, just a crack. One shot. Prove it. No more games. From there, the thaw was tentative, laced with suspense. We'd meet at the rec center after hours, him spotting my lifts, me breaking down his film with brutal honesty. No touches, no whispers, just basketball, raw and rebuilding. The team noticed, whispers shifting to wary approval. "Hargrove's actually listening," one guard muttered. Ethan's plays sharpened. He deferred to vets, called out his own crew's bullshit. Off-court, he dropped by the Pride Center, awkward at first, sorting flyers with that tech bro efficiency, but staying for the talks, eyes widening at stories that mirrored his own hidden fractures. Climax brewed in the conference semis, against Central again. Knee braced, I suited up as a bench coach hybrid, clipboard in hand. Ethan dominated early, but fouled out in the third on a dumb reach-in, Central surging. Huddle break, steam rising, he looked to me. Panic in those greens. "What now?" I gripped his shoulder, voice steady. "Fight for it, like you promised." He nodded, subbed back, and orchestrated a comeback for the ages. Steals like lightning, assists threading needles, a buzzer-beater fadeaway that sealed it 78-76. The arena erupted, teammates mobbing him, but his eyes sought mine across the chaos. Gratitude, deeper than wins. Post-game, in the emptying locker room, he approached, sweat slick and shining. "I did it for you. For us." The air thickened, old sparks flickering. I searched his face, weighing the risk. Us? That's a big word, Hargrove. He stepped closer, voice a vow. Earned it yet. Heart pounding. I pulled him into the shadows. Our kiss a collision of forgiveness and fire. Romantic, redemptive, real. But betrayal's shadow lingered. Weeks later, as the tourney loomed, Ethan's phone buzzed during one of our bluff sessions. He glanced, paled, silencing it. Dad. Pressed. He hesitated, then spilled. An ultimatum. Come home for a rehab summit, or lose the inheritance. The catch? Publicly denounce the distraction of his phase. Code for us. Conflict tore him, the spoiled teen warring with the man I'd glimpsed. I can't lose you, he whispered, but doubt clouded his eyes. The night before his flight, we lay on the grass, stars indifferent witnesses. Choose yourself, Ethan, I said, throat tight. The respect you lost? It's in owning your story, not hiding mine. He cried then, ugly and unfiltered, promising to fight. But Dawn brought a text. I'm sorry. I have to go. No airport goodbye, just silence. Devastation hit like that rain-slick ball. Nights of what-ifs, practices where his absence echoed. The team rallied around me, Marcus at my side. But the hollow grew. Then, tourney eve, a knock. Ethan, disheveled, duffel at his feet. I told him no. Walked out mid-dinner. Said I'm done performing. Proof in a black eye, daddy's ring, I guessed. He dropped to one knee, not proposal but plea. Teach me to be brave, Jax. Like you. We rebuilt from ruins. Therapy sessions tandem. Coming out tandem to the team. Roars of support. Coach's gruff. About damn time. The final? A thriller. Ethan's game winner dedicated with a subtle heart emoji postgame. Off-court, our love deepened. Road trips to Ohio diners. Pride floats hand in hand. Arguments that honed us sharper. Years on, as pros in the G League, me coaching youth, him starting for the Grizzlies, I look back on that mockery under rain as the storm that cleared the sky. Respect returned? Nah. We forged new, human, flawed, unbreakable. In America's heartland grind, we found our rhythm. 2 players, 1 court, forever teamed. Looking back, that confrontation in the rain wasn't the end. It was the intermission, the breath before the real drama unfolded. I hobbled back to my dorm that morning, Ethan's I love you, echoing like a bad echo in an empty gym. My knee throbbed in rhythm with my pulse. Each crutch swing a reminder of fragility. Elmwood's campus sprawled under a slate-gray sky, the kind of Midwest gloom that seeps into your bones, but I craved the bite. Anything to numb the ache of betrayal. The dorm was a ghost town. Most kids jetting home for break prep, leaving me with the hum of the mini-fridge and walls papered in faded March Madness posters. I collapsed onto the bed, staring at the ceiling cracks that mapped out like my fractured trust. Ethan Hargrove. The name alone used to spark a mix of irritation and intrigue. Transferred from some Ivy feeder on the East Coast. He arrived with a reputation, scout darling, highlight reel slasher, and yes, the whispers of confused from his old scene. I'd pegged him as a flash in the pan, the type who flames out when the checks don't clear. But then came those late practices, where his drive met my defense, forging an unlikely sink. We'd linger after, dissecting plays over Gatorade, his laugh cutting through my guarded silences. You're like a damn general out there, Harlan, he'd say, and I'd shrug, but inside, it warmed the cold spots Dad's absences had left. Now, that warmth curdled into something toxic. I fired off a text. Block his number, delete the thread, but my thumb hovered, traitorous. Why him? Why now? When my knee was toast and scouts had already penciled me into bust columns. Gay in Division I hoops wasn't a death sentence anymore. Not after Jason Collins, not with the NBRPA's ally pushes, but it was a hurdle. Teammates mostly had my back. Coach even hung a Love Wins banner in the office after Obergefell. But Ethan? He danced on that line, pulling me close in private, shoving me away in public. The Snapchat leak was just the symptom. The disease was his fear, and I'd been the unwitting carrier. Sleep dodged me, chased by replays. his hand in mine on the bluffs, the way he'd traced the faded tattoo on my forearm. A compass rose inked after Mom's cancer scare, pointing true north. "What's your north, Jax?" he'd asked once, voice soft against the river's rush. "People who stay," I'd replied, and he'd squeezed tighter. "Lies all of it or half-truths, maybe." By noon, hunger clawed, so I crutched to the Union, where the cafeteria hummed with stragglers. Marcus was there, holding court at a corner table with the theater queers. His locks tied back, grin wide as the Mississippi. "Jax, get over here, you wounded warrior." He cleared space, sliding me a tray of mystery meatloaf. Marcus Rivera, Puerto Rican kid from Chicago's South Side, theater major who tried walk-on ball before pivoting to stage lights. We'd bonded freshman year over bad free throws and worse family holidays. Him dishing on drag shows while I vented about small-town stares. He eyed my limp. "Spill. That rich prick." I nodded, the story tumbling out between bites. The snaps, the rain, the L-word bomb. His face darkened, fork stabbing potatoes. "Nah, Mijo. He's playing you like a bad script. Cut the scene." We talked for hours, the Union emptying around us. Marcus had his own scars. Outed by a jealous ex, lost a scholarship sponsor in the fallout. But look at me. Still slaying monologues, still snagging dates. He leaned in, eyes fierce. "You're Jax Harlan, the guy who schooled the whole league in pickup last summer. Don't let one fool dim your spotlight." His words landed like a teammate's pick, clean, clearing the lane. By evening, I'd laughed real belly deep over his impressions of Ethan's trust fund tantrum. That potluck at the Pride Center? It was Marcus's doing, dragging me there with promises of queer comfort food and zero bullshit. The center squatted in a converted Victorian off-Greek row, rainbow flags fluttering like defiant prayers. Inside, twinkle lights strung the beams, tables groaning under tamales, mac and cheese, and a gluten-free pie that somehow didn't suck. About 20 of us, LGBTQ strays from athletics, arts, even the engineering lab, swapped stories like trading cards. There was Lena, the non-binary soccer star nursing a sports drink, recounting a coach's microaggressions. Theo, the grad student poet, reciting lines about loving in the margins. Ethan's name surfaced midway, after my third helping of Lena's abuelita's flan. "Hargrove? The baller." Theo perked up, adjusting wire rims. "Heard he's bi-curious at best. Dated a sorority girl last year to keep daddy happy." Snickers rippled, but I felt a pang, defensive despite everything. "Curious or coward?" I muttered, and the table fell quiet. Marcus clapped my back. "Both, probably, but that's his baggage, not yours." We pivoted to lighter ground, holiday horror tales, plans for the campus drag brunch. By night's end, as we dismantled tables, a weight lifted. Not gone, but shared. Marcus crashed, true to form, his snores a bass line to my tossing. Dawn crept in, gray light filtering through blinds. I woke to his scrawled note on the mini-fridge. "Coffee's brewing. Remember, you're the MVP. Call if the knee acts up." Gratitude swelled. This was family, chosen and fierce. I brewed a pot, scrolled emails. PT update from the trainer. A scout's polite regrets for pro camp. Then, buried in spam, Ethan's flowers delivery confirmation. Lilies. Christ. I almost chucked my phone, but curiosity won. The card. When the bouquet arrived an hour later. Words fail. "Let me show you." Show me? Rage bubbled, but so did that damn spark. I texted Marcus a pic, his reply instant. "Burn them, or use as kindling for your comeback." I opted for water, dumping the blooms in the sink, watching petals swirl like confetti from a popped illusion. Practice reconvened that afternoon. The gym a cacophony of squeaks and shouts. I perched on the bleachers, whistle around neck, playing shadow coach. The team moved like molasses without me. Sloppy passes, Ethan's drives forcing too hard. He spotted me mid-drill, freezing for a beat before nodding, tight-lipped. Halftime huddle, coach barked adjustments, then glanced my way. "Harlan, your take?" I stood, crutches steady. Box out Hargrove, he's telegraphing left. And Riley, quit jacking threes. Feed the post. Ethan met my eyes, a flicker of something. Respect? Regret. Before diving back in. They won the scrimmage 52-48. Ethan's assist to the big man sealing it. As they cooled down, he lingered by the water cooler, towel draped. Good call on the box out. Gruff, neutral. I nodded. Just facts. No more, no less. That night, voicemail won. His voice, gravel rough. Saw you today. You belong there, Jax. Even if I don't. Delete. 2. The flowers were stupid. I'm stupid. But I meant it, the love part. Hesitant. Cracking. Delete. 3 at midnight. Silence mostly. Then a choked, I hate this. Hate me for it. I listened twice, thumb hovering over save, before erasing. Sleep came fitful, dreams of courts flooded. Ethan sinking away in the current. Week blurred. PT mornings where I pushed reps till sweat stung. Afternoons scouting film in the AV room. Evenings at the center stuffing envelopes for the spring gala. Marcus dragged me to a poetry slam. Theo headlining, where verses on queer resilience hit like free throws. We are not the storm, Theo boomed, but the ones who dance in it. Applause thundered. I clapped till palms burned, a mantra forming. Ethan's orbit tightened subtly. He'd accidentally leave protein bars in my locker, or ask coach for my input on set plays. The team chattered. Hargrove's whipped, but I stonewalled, focusing on the knee's progress. Swelling down, flex returning. Trainer greenlit light jogs by week's end. That jog on the indoor track felt like reclaiming ground. Lap after lap, breath sinking, the world narrowing to rhythm. Then the bluff call. Mid-December, first snow dusting the cliffs. I drove out alone, the old pickup rattling like bones. The Mississippi churned below, ice flows clashing. I smoked a rare cig, exhaling ghosts. Footsteps crunched. Ethan, bundled in a beanie that didn't hide his shadowed eyes. Knew you'd be here. How? Intuition or stalking? He sat a respectful distance, no please. Just needed to see you're okay. I scoffed. Okay's relative. Silence stretched, companionable almost, broken by his sigh. Dad's flying in tomorrow. Big talk. The inheritance shadow. I glanced over, vulnerability etched deep. What'll you say? He shrugged, snowflakes melting on lashes. Truth, maybe. For once. Courage flickered, and damn if it didn't tug. That'd be a start. We talked then, not us but hoops, tourney brackets, his jump shot hitch. Neutral ground, thawing edges. He left first, hand brushing mine, accidental, electric still. Back home, his text. Thanks for the ear. Night vet. The dam cracked slow. Voicemails piled. I saved one, replayed in weak moments. Practice sharpened, Ethan deferring. Team gelling. Coach pulled me aside post-scrimmage. Kids turning a corner. You're doing. I demurred, but pride swelled. Holiday break loomed, campus emptying. Marcus headed to Cheetown. I stayed, knee my companion. Eve of, a knock. Ethan, pie in hand, store-bought apple, lopsided grin. Heard your solo. Truce dinner. Against judgment, I let him in. We ate on the floor, cross-legged, trading small talk that edged toward big. Dad went nuclear, he admitted over crust. Called it a phase. But I told him it's me. And you're part of that. Heart stuttered. Part? Ethan. He cut in, eyes locked. All. If you'll have me. The kiss that followed was tentative, tasting of pie and possibility. Romance rekindled, cautious. We didn't rush, just held, the snow outside a soft curtain. But storms brew quiet, break past in blur. Joint calls to families, mine wary, his icy. Knee strengthening. Return brought intensity. Conference grind, scouts circling Ethan like vultures. Our secret held, stolen moments in equipment rooms, whispers of futures. Pro together? He'd muse, head on my chest. I'd laugh. One step, hotshot. The semi loomed, tension coiling. Pre-game shoot-around. Ethan's phone buzzed incessant. Dad? Ultimatums escalating. He silenced it, but shadows lingered. After this, he vowed, we go public. Hope bloomed. Fragile. Game night. Arena pulsing. Central's press suffocating. Ethan fouled out reckless, frustration boiling. Huddle, my voice cut through. Breathe. Fight smart. He nodded, returned to Phoenix. Clutch. Controlled. Buzzer beater. Pure arc. Net ripple. Victory roar. His hug lingered long. Cameras catching the edge. Locker chaos, then quiet. He pulled me aside, kiss hungry. For us. Elation crested. But the call came at dawn. Dad's jet waiting. Final chance, laced with disownment. Ethan's face crumpled. I can't. The fracture widened. Suspense taut as a last-second free throw. The ultimatum hung over us like a storm cloud refusing to break, turning every laugh brittle, every touch a question mark. We'd won the semi, punched our ticket to the conference final. But victory tasted like ash when Ethan's phone became a ticking bomb. Back in my dorm post-celebration, Team Rager's skipped for recovery. He paced the narrow space, snow melting off his boots into dark puddles. He thinks he can buy me back, he spat, tossing the device onto my bed like it burned. The screen lit up again. Flight leaves at 10. Don't make me come get you. I watched from the futon, knee elevated on a frozen pea throne, the weight of it all pressing like overtime fatigue. Ethan, sit. My voice was calm, the captain's tone I'd honed through 3 losing seasons. He did, collapsing beside me, head in hands. Up close, the post-game high had faded, revealing hollows under his eyes, stubble shadowing that chiseled jaw. What does he want, really? A press release? Sun straight, past the caviar? Bitterness edged my words, but empathy undercut it. This was the boy who'd knelt in mud for me, after all. He lifted his head, green stormy. Control. Always has. Mom bailed when I was 10. He's compensated with boardrooms and boarding schools. Me being us. It's chaos to his spreadsheet life. We talked circles that night, dissecting the beast of family expectation. I shared my own ghosts. Dad's beer-fueled rants after my outing at 17. Don't you dare shame us, boy, followed by radio silence. Mom's quiet support, slipping 20s for bus tickets to Columbus Pride. They come around or they don't, I said, tracing his knuckles. But you're 21. Clock's yours. He leaned into me, sigh ragged. What if I lose everything? The team, the draft. Bullshit. I cut in sharp. You lose you, that's the real forfeit. The kiss that sealed it was slow, reaffirming romance as anchor in the gale. Morning came cruel, airport run, his duffel zipped with finality. We idled in the pickup lot, engine humming like unspoken fears. Call when you land, I said, hand on his thigh. He nodded, throat working. Love you, Jax. Whatever happens. The door click echoed. I watched taillights fade into the flurries, gut twisting. Back on campus. Solitude amplified. Gym empty. Texts from Marcus checking in. Survive the princeling? I replied vague. Dove into film for the final, scouting Central's revamped press. Days stretched elastic. Ethan sparse. Landed. Tense. Then silence, pierced by a midnight call. Voice thick, airport bar slurring edges. He laid it out. Rehab camp in Aspen. Straighten up literally. Or cut off. I walked. Pride swelled, chased by worry. Where are you? Motel off I-80. Heading back tomorrow. Relief flooded. We talked till battery died. Plans hatching. Public together. Post-final. Show 'em we're unbreakable, he murmured. His return was electric. Practice arrival, duffel slung, black eye blooming purple. Team ribbed. Fight the old man? He laughed it off, but in the tunnel truth spilled. Lashed out when I said no. First time standing up. I traced the bruise, anger flaring for him. Bastard. He caught my hand, kiss stolen quick. Worth it. For this. Momentum built. Final week. Drills razor-sharp, Ethan's leadership emerging, calling huddles, mentoring Frosh. Scouts buzzed thicker, whispers of lottery potential. Off-court we carved space. Coffee runs to the Union, where he'd steal my muffin, grin boyish. Evenings at the Bluffs, bundled against wind, futures sketched in frost. Coach in Memphis? You and me, river views. I'd snort. Slow down, hotshot. First, the ring. But undercurrents swirled. Frat whispers resurfaced. Hargrove's got a side piece? Fueled by a jealous wingman's grudge. Coach called a team meeting, air thick. Rumors die here. We're family. Eyes flicked to Ethan, then me. He squeezed my knee under the table, unseen vow. Marcus, at a center game watch, pulled me aside post. He's trying jacks, but watch your heart. It's got enough mileage. The final dawned crisp. Arena packed with 5,000 screaming souls. Banners waving like war flags. Central, hungry for revenge, pressed from tip. Traps snaring, elbows flying. Ethan slashed early, but turnovers mounted. His frustration leaking in a technical for jawing refs. Halftime down 8, locker steamy with sweat and doubt. Coach's clipboard smacked. Harlan talk. I stood, crutches ditched for a brace, voice carrying. They want chaos, give him control. Ethan, you're the blade. Cut clean. Team, one heartbeat. Eyes locked, fire kindled. He nodded. Fierce. For Jacks. Second half miracle. Ethan orchestrated. Assists flowing like the river. Pick and rolls with the big. Pull-up silk. Central clawed. Tie at 72 with 30 ticks. Timeout. His eyes met mine across the huddle. A lifetime in a glance. Inbound. Screen set. He curled. Faded, ball airborne, heart suspended. Swish. 75 to 72. Horn blared. Pandemonium. He sprinted the bench, arms engulfing me. We did it! Cameras flashing, the world seeing. Conference champs. Bids secured for March Madness. After parties raged, but we slipped away to the Bluffs. Trophy between us like a talisman. Public now. I asked, stars winking. He grinned, pulling a ring. Not diamond, but a simple silver band etched with coordinates. Our spot. Partners. Official. Tears pricked. Kiss sealed, romantic as any sunset. Betrayals echo? Faded, but life's no fairy tale. Regionals in Seattle, jet lag biting. Ethan's draft buzz peaked. Mock lotteries pinning top 10. But Dad resurfaced. Emails to coach. Concerns about distractions. Whispers leaked. A source to athletic beat writers, hinting Ethan's off-court issues, tanking focus. Paranoia crept. Was it him? Cracking under pressure? Sweet 16 thriller. Upset swirled, our run a Cinderella streak. Ethan shone, but post-game presser. A reporter probed. Rumors of a relationship? Impact on team? Coach deflected. Ethan, mic in hand, hesitated. Eyes flicking to me in the wings. Personal life's personal. But love makes us stronger. Vague but seismic. Backstage. Hug tight. Soon. Elite 8. Storm clouds gathered. Ethan's phone exploded. Dad's lawyer. Cease and desist for defamation. The leak? Ethan's own words twisted. A recorded call from Aspen spun as regret. He showed me the transcript. Rage paling his face. He's burning it all. Conflict peaked. Cancel the public? Or double down? We fight, I urged, but doubt shadowed his drives. Final Four Eve motel in Atlanta, tension taut. He paced. I iced the knee, symbolic our wounds parallel. What if it's too much? He whispered, crumbling onto the bed. Vulnerability raw, I pulled him close. Then we pivot. Together. Love's depth anchored us, humanistic in its mess. No heroes, just humans holding. The game. Final Four frenzy. Against blue blood royalty. Pressure crushed. Ethan cramped third quarter, hobbled but heroic. Down 5. For a clock left. Steal and 1. Tie. T. His will carried us, buzzer block, championship birth. Confetti rained. Tears flowed. Presser. No hesitation. Jax Harlan's my rock. Partner. Love him. Period. World exploded, cheers, trolls, trending Hargrove out proud. But climax crested bittersweet. Dad's final play. Public disownment letter. See seat to media. Son's choices shame the family. Ethan read it aloud, voice steady, then tore it, ashes in the sink. Free, he breathed. We cried, laughed, made love gentle, emotional, not carnal, souls entwining. Championship, pinnacle or precipice. Duke's dynasty loomed, Scout's final judgments. Ethan's knee buckled late, mirror to mine, but he rose, game winner arcing true. Banner raised, rings slipped, post on the podium, for the vets who taught respect, for love that redeems. Yet, in quiet aftermath, truth surfaced. The leak? Not Dad, but Ethan's old roommate, grudge-fueled. Betrayal layered, but forgiveness our choice. We heal, he said, bandaged beside me. Humanity won, flawed, fierce. Championship glory faded into the grind of recovery and revelation. The kind of afterglow that tests if your light's fluorescent or fire. We flew back to Elmwood as kings. Parade down Main. Confetti still tangled in Ethan's hair. My brace a badge of battles shared. Campus erupted. Harlan! Hargrove! Chants echoing off brick halls. The student paper's headline screaming, love and layups. Elmwood's queer champs. Socials blew up. Basketball boyfriends trending. Allies amplifying. Trolls drowned in supportive noise. But in the quiet of my dorm, door locked against the world, Ethan slumped against the wall, the ring on his finger catching lamplight like a fragile promise. It's surreal, he murmured, tracing the engraving. Our bluff's coordinates. 1 minute, hiding. Next, headlines. I eased onto the bed, knee propped, pulling him down beside me. Surreal's the price of real. We lay tangled, not urgent but urgent in its tenderness. Hands mapping scars, breaths sinking like perfect pics. Romance, post-victory, felt deeper. No stakes left to chase, just us, building on ruins. He spoke of Dad's silence. No calls, accounts frozen, but a weird liberation. Like shedding skin. Hurts, but I'm me now. Morning brought the deluge. Interview requests, agent calls, mine pivoting to coaching pipelines, his to NBA green rooms. Coach Riley summoned us to his office, the one with trophies gathering dust and a rainbow sticker peeling on the window. Proud as hell, boys, he growled, bear hug enveloping. But heads up, boards twitchy about the optics. Play smart. Optics. The word soured. A reminder that even wins couldn't erase the game's underbelly. We nodded, but outside, Ethan's jaw clenched. Fuck optics. We're champs. The leak's architect surfaced midweek. Tyler Voss, Ethan's old wingman from transfer days, outed in an anonymous athletic board tip. Grudge, jealousy over Ethan's shine, amplified by our closeness. Voss denied at first, joke gone wrong, but evidence mounted, timestamps, deleted DMs. Coach suspended him pending review. Team fractured, loyalties tested. Ethan confronted him in the lot, me shadowing, words heated, but no fists. Why Ty? We were boys. Voss sneered, then cracked. You ditched us for him, had to even the score. Betrayal's face banal as a bad pass. It gutted Ethan, worse than Dad's disownment. This was pure poison, the kind that festers in locker room bonds. Nights he'd wake thrashing, dreams of crowds turning jeer. I'd hold him, whispering drills like lullabies. Breathe in sets, out screens. Marcus hosted debrief dinners. His Cheetown crew joining via Zoom, where we vented, laughed at memes roasting Voss. Karma's a full-court press, Marcus quipped, and we'd toast to that. Spring thawed the literal and figurative. My knee hit milestones, jogging the track without wince. Ethan's draft workouts hummed, invites from Charlotte, Memphis. We carved routines, mornings at the center, co-leading ally workshops. Afternoon scouting youth leagues, me eyeing assistant gigs, him mentoring kids with that easy charm. Romance wove through. Picnic on the bluffs, wildflowers tucked in his hair. Drives to Iowa farm stands, stealing kisses at stoplights. "This is North," he'd say, echoing my tattoo, and I'd believe it. But conflict simmered external. Dad's lawyers circled, suing for emotional distress. Absurd. But tabloids lapped it up. Heiress son's gay scandal costs fortune. Protests erupted, not against us but for vigils at the center, alumni donations spiking. A local news spot interviewed us, hands clasped on camera. "Love's the ultimate assist," Ethan said, voice steady. Views hit millions. Letters poured, kids coming out, vets sharing stories. Humanistic ripple, our pain fueling light. Climax brewed in Summer League, Vegas heatwave mirroring inner boil. Ethan's invited to a Hornets camp, but Voss's saga explodes. Leaked audio of his slurs, suspension to expulsion. Team vote. Ethan abstains, but pressure mounts. "Clear the air, Cap." He does. Press conference raw. Ty's actions hurt, but I forgive. We're better than hate. Applause thunders. Scouts nod approval. But backstage he crumbles. "Am I enough without the money?" The name. Doubt's dagger twisting. I pulled him to the strip's edge, neon blurring. "Enough? You're everything." Kiss fierce, reaffirming emotional core, love as rebellion. We talked dawn through. His fears of fading, my own of sideline dreams. "Coach together," I proposed. "Build something ours." Spark ignited plans for a queer youth camp, scholarships in our names. Fall brought draft night, Brooklyn Barclays pulsing. Suited, rings glinting, we sat front row, my hand in his under the table. Commissioner's voice booms. With the 8th pick, Charlotte Hornets select Ethan Hargrove, Elmwood University. Roar, he leaps, hugging me first. Cameras catching, world cheering. Post, champagne spray. To us. But whispers. Dad watching from a skybox, uninvited ghost. Rookie season dawned whirlwind. Charlotte skyline, Ethan's apartment overlooking the park. My assistant role with a local JUCO bridging to NBA benches. Long distance tested. Flights weekly. Texts constant. Romance adapted. Video calls with candlelight. Surprise visits mid-road trip. But betrayal's ghost resurfaced. A teammate's hazing. Jokes veering homophobic. Ethan calling it out. Fallout fracturing the locker. Mid-season injury. Ethan's ankle roll mirroring my ACL. Bench-bound. He spirals. Curse. I fly in rehab tandem, turning pain to purpose. We're vets now. I tease, and he laughs real. Off-season, the call. Dad's olive branch mediated meet, neutral ground in Chicago. Ethan hesitates. I back him. Diner booth. Air thick. Sun. Apology stilted. Conditions laced. Keep it private. Ethan stands. No. This is me. Walkout, but a seed planted, humanity's slow bend. Our camp launches. Kids from margins. Drills laced with talks on identity. One boy, wide-eyed. You too. Real. Ethan kneels. Real as this rock. Tears. Impact ripples. Year 2. Ethan's all-rookie nod. My head coach promo at Elmwood. Betrayal? Forged to strength, Voss apologizes in a letter, redemption arc his own. Dad attends a game, silent clap from stands. Through it, love deepens. Anniversaries on bluffs, adoptions whispered. Humanistic end, not perfect, but profound. Respect, returned, multiplied. In America's arena we played on. Years folded like well-worn jerseys. Each seem a story of scars stitched stronger. The kind of narrative that doesn't end with a buzzer, but hums on in quiet courtside moments. Ethan's rookie glow had dimmed into seasoned shine. Charlotte's starting two-guard, averaging 18 and 5. His fadeaway a signature that kids graffitied on playgrounds from Queens to Queensbridge. Me, Elmwood's head coach now, trading crutches for clipboards, building a program that punched above its weight. Scholarships doled not just for jump shots but heart. We'd bought a place on the river's bend. Not lavish, but ours. Wide windows framing sunrises. A hoop in the drive for midnight one-on-ones. Life's drama didn't quit. It evolved, suspense shifting from locker whispers to life's larger fouls. Ethan's ankle, that cruel echo of mine, sidelined him a stretch. Weeks of PT in our basement gym, me spotting his reps with the same gruff encouragement coach Riley once gave me. Form, hotshot, don't chase the pain. He'd grunt through it, sweat beading, then flash that grin. Bossy, hot. We'd collapse laughing, kisses turning lazy. The romance of routine as potent as stolen bluff nights. No grand gestures needed. Love had settled into the bones, reliable as a screen set. The camp, Hargrove Harlan Hoops for Hope, grew legs, franchising to 5 states, a beacon for queer and ally kids who'd been benched by bias. That first summer post-draft, we'd hosted 50, bunked in Elmwood dorms, days of drills bleeding into evenings of circles. Stories shared under string lights, Marcus guest emceeing with improv games that cracked shells. One girl, 14 and fierce, inked our coordinates on her wrist post-graduation. My North. Letters like hers stacked in a drawer. Talismans against the trolls that still pinged Ethan's mentions, or the op-eds decrying woke sports. Betrayal's final chapter closed unexpectedly. Tyler Voss, after a year in the D-League wilderness, reached out, not for absolution but amends. A coffee in a Charlotte strip mall Starbucks, neutral as Nebraska. He looked smaller, lines etched from bounces between buses and benches. I was scared, man, of losing my spot, of me. Ethan listened, no fire, just the vet's nod. Fear's a hell of a coach. Glad you're rewriting the play. Handshake, not hug, progress, not perfection. Voss volunteered at the camp next summer, coaching footwork to the shy ones. His redemption a quiet arc that humanized us all. Family fractures mended crooked. My folks visited post my first winning season. Dad awkward with hugs, but staying for the full game, cheering when our point guard, a bi kid from Detroit, drained a game winner. Proud, son. He mumbled over post-game burgers, eyes on our clasped hands. Ethan's mom resurfaced too, post-divorce glow-up, flying in for a Hornets matchup. Dinner at ours, her toasting to loves that last. Dad's ghost absent but forgiven in her warmth. His father, the disownment letter yellowed in a file, but a courtside seat arrived anonymously for Ethan's all-star nod. No note, just presence. Progress, glacial. Climax came subtle, in the roar of normalcy tested. Year 3, Ethan's contract extension loomed. Millions on the table but whispers of trade to LA. Glitz calling. What if? He'd muse on road trip calls, voice static-laced. Me knee solid but coaching grind eternal. Felt the pull. Uproot for him? Or anchor here? Conflict brewed over barbecues with Marcus, now Broadway bound. Visiting with tales of Times Square triumphs. Arguments flaring like summer storms. Don't saint yourself, Jax. Love means moving. Ethan's plea, over wine on the deck. Build with me, not beside. Suspense peaked at All-Star Weekend, Indy Coliseum Electric. He balled out, dunk contest flair, 3-point splash, but post-game gala, an exec corners him, LA's package. Picks, a star. Your call. Eyes meet mine across the velvet ropes. Decision dangles. Hotel suite, city lights twinkling, we lay bare. Fears of resentment, dreams deferred. North's wherever you are, I said, echoing old ink. He exhaled, chose Charlotte. Our river, our roots. Extension signed dawn. Kiss ceiling. Romantic resolve, emotional apex. The humanistic we've tightened through it. Camp expanded, partnering with GLSEN. Scholarships funding 10 kids' college paths. A docu-series pitched, Courtship, Love in the Lane. Captured our arc, premiering at Sundance to standing O's. Critics hailed it raw Americana. Detractors fumed propaganda. But views soared. Dialogue sparked in barbershops and Bible studies. One panel, post-screening. A vet dad, teary. My boys like you. Thanks for showing the win. Tragedy brushed close once. My mom's cancer returning. Stage 2, chemo's cruel rhythm. Ethan cleared his schedule, flying us to Cleveland weekly, holding her hand during infusions, cracking jokes that coaxed laughs from beeping halls. Tougher than any zone, he'd say, and she'd squeeze back. Remission came slow, but it came. Celebration barbecue on the bluffs. Toasts to warriors. In that depth. Love not just couples, but communal, lifting the fallen. Years 10. Ethan's graying temples, my coaching clipboard creased. Rings worn thin but true. Retirement whispers, him eyeing ownership, me a D1 powerhouse. Grandkids? Not yet. Surrogacy talks tentative, but a rescue pup named Ace bounds between us. Sloppy kisses our rehearsal. One night, post-alumni game, me coaching legends, him dropping 30 in the second half. We drive the old route, river silver under moon. Mocked the vet once, he says, hand in mine. Now, I'd kneel forever. I laugh, throat tight. Respect's mutual, spoiled. Kiss at the overlook, stars witnesses. Dramatic no more, but deeply felt. In America's vast court, we scored not points, but peace. Gay, gritty, gone but for the grace of each other. The end? Nah, just tip off for tomorrow.